Welcome to AM Muscle Maintenance with InShape Fitness. I'm Coach Kim, and today's podcast workout is a running warm-up. I call it Run Well Warm-Up, and it is 12 exercises, equipment-free exercises. You can do them in your bare feet without your running shoes on before you step out for whatever activity. And it doesn't really have to be running. It could be any activity, but it is very important for you to go from sedentary existence to whatever exciting activity you're involved in by virtue of a productive, comprehensive, total body warm-up. And that way, everything that you need to have functioning properly is turned on, your blood is flowing, your neurons are firing, your muscle tissue is ready to move. And we're going to get started with something I call Plumb the Line. It is an awareness of your posture, a simple stand up tall. I used to call this the postural systems check, but that was kind of a lot of words. So we've toned that down into a shorter terminology for just a mere thinking about the placement of your head, making sure that your ears line up with your shoulders, making sure that your shoulders are back so that your breath is productive. You're deeply inhaling through your nose and then exhaling through your mouth. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. You zip up your tummy muscles. Tuck in your tailbone. You don't want your butt sticking out because that produces a contraction of your lower back and pulls on the front of your body, preventing it from being engaged properly. It also alters your center of gravity. That is the main reason why you need to have to maintain awareness of your posture. And then down your legs, your hips, your knees, and your ankles also make one straight line. Now, plumb the line is important for running specifically because when you are moving, when you are propelling your body forward from one step to the next, you don't want a bent plumb line. And oftentimes, particularly novice runners or slower runners, they end up with an angle at the hips, at the hip flexors. They sort of bend over as they run. But you want your hip flexors to be the drivers of your movement because they are the stabilizers of your lower core, and thus you want that line to be straight so that it powers the movement of your left leg and your right leg. When you lean in through your ankles, the plumb line is still straight, but you are kind of leaning into just a slight couple of degrees. You lean in, and then as you kick your feet back, you've got that good clearance in order to lift your foot back behind you as you're taking each of your steps. So that's plumb the line. We're going to start now with the first of the 11 official exercises. The whole workout, the warm-up, is about 10, 12 minutes tops. We're going to start with jumping jacks, and we're just going to do 12 jumping jacks. We're going to pause and do a little bit of a high knee march. And then we're going to do 24 jumping jacks, and then we're going to go back through the march. So we're going to kind of do a little bit of a braided circuit here where we do everything twice. And let's get started now with those 12 jumping jacks. So go ahead and make sure that you're landing lightly on the balls of your feet, that your arms have a little bit of a bend in the elbow, but that they're pretty straight, and your fingertips should get close to touching at the top. All right. Shouldn't take you more than 15, 20 seconds to do those. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of a high knee march, which means that you stand up really tall. You lift your left knee up high, and we're going to actually cross the body. As you touch your toe, you're going to put the left toes down across the right side of your body. Then lift up the left knee again, and then put the left foot back down on the left side where it started. Now with the right knee, you lift up the right knee. The right foot extends past the left side of the body and touches down on the floor lightly, and then lift the right knee back up and replace the right foot back to its original starting point. All right, do one more of these on each side. Left knee up, left foot crosses the right side of the body and touches the toes down on the floor, and then back up with the left knee back to the left side, and same with the right side. Now 24 more jumping jacks. All right, ready, set, go. Your cadence should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And last couple of, we're going to 24. Sorry, I was forgetting for a second that we were, or 21 rather. I was forgetting for a second that we were going to 21. So keep it counting. Obviously, I can't see what you're doing, but let's count down now wherever you are. Last 3, 2, and 1. I like doing 12 as a circuit sometimes, and then the second being 21. So we're going to go 12 and 21 with pretty much all of the repetitive exercises. We have a few that we only do 1 or 2, and of course with like plank, which we're going to do towards the end, we're just simply going to hold. But let's start now with another exercise that we call the forward reach. Okay, so the forward reach is an exercise that requires you to balance on one leg. You're going to stabilize your body weight on your right leg. Now, your left leg is going to extend back behind you. You're going to lift up off of your left foot as it extends behind you. Your torso bends at the hip. So you're bending over, and your left hand, your right hand should be on your right hip. Your left hand is going to reach down towards the floor. Maybe if you're stable, you could touch your toes, but that's not necessary. You stand back up, but this is the kicker. You want to make sure you're moving slowly, because when you when you bring yourself back into the erect position of standing, you move very slowly. And the way that this slow movement benefits your body is that it really forces the right butt cheek to be the driver of your stability, and you'll feel it in your butt. Do one more of those with the left leg extending back, the left arm extending down, and then we're going to switch sides and do 2 with the left side, with the left leg stable. All right. If you're right-handed, when you switch now to the left side, it's going to be a little more complicated. It's going to be more challenging. So your left leg is stable, your left hand can be on your left hip, and then your right leg extends back as your right hand extends towards the floor. You don't have to touch the floor. And if you are right-handed and you're less stable on your left foot, be grateful for that, because really what's important is that once you become unstable, you want to reverse directions and right yourself, come back to the erect position, but you still want to move slowly so that you make get a real bang for your buck in terms of the left glute work. The running motion, and this is why I call it a running warm up, but we're warming up the tissues that are so required, that are germane to the activity of running, of propelling the body. But of course, if you're hiking or just going for a long walk or going even for a bike ride, this is also applicable. Okay, now I want you to lie down on the floor. We're going to spend a little bit of time in hip bridge. We're going to go between hip bridge and side plank. All right. We actually did this with the core quad workout last week as well. I love these two combinations. So if you're up in your hip bridge, your knees are bent, your feet are flat, your feet are parallel to one another, and your hips are in the air. And you just want to hold this for a few seconds. Then we're going to do 12 of them. All right, now drop your hips and then lift up. You inhale as you drop, you exhale as you lift back up for a count of 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and you're done. Good. Now turn to your left side and prop your body up onto your left elbow, where your left elbow and your left shoulder make a straight up and down line, and then stack your feet. If you cannot hold a side plank on your feet for 20 seconds, you bend your knees behind you, keeping your hip flexors straight, but you can do a modified side plank. So your 20 seconds starts now. Make sure that you're breathing. Again, make sure your body is the hypotenuse, right, of a right angle. The right angle is formed by the floor and your upper arm. Your hand is flat, and you are the hypotenuse. That is what your body is. Okay, now we're going back to the hip bridge. This time we're going to do 24 of them. So when you get your body back into your hip bridge position, remember your ankles and your knees make a straight line. Keep your feet down. Keep your toes flat, turned in and parallel to so that your feet are parallel, and then lift up and lower down for a count of 21 and 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, keep going. You can count yourself. I want to make sure that I remind you that you inhale on your way down. You exhale, breathe out as you lift up. All right, get to the end of that count of 21. And then we're turning to the right side for a right side plank for 20 seconds. Getting close here. We've just got 3 exercises. After we do one more, the side plank, we're going to do one more version of the hip bridge to activate your inner thighs. And then we've got 3 exercises left. Okay, right plank, right side plank, your time is going now. So you've got 20 seconds on the clock. Again, make sure that there is a straight line between your shoulder, your right shoulder now, and your right hand, and your hand should be flat. Making a fist during your plank is a bad idea. Why is that? It's because when you make a fist, the primitive part of your brain thinks that you're tensing up and ready to punch somebody. Don't tease it. Just relax. The relaxation part of your body is just as integral to your successful athletic ability as the effort part. Okay, last hip bridge. So turn back to your back, bend your knees one more time. Your feet are parallel. Your toes stay down. This time, actually, no, your toes are not going to stay down, because this time what you're going to do is you're going to bring your heels as close to your butt as possible, and then you're going to bring the soles of your feet together so that your knees drop out to either side. We call this a butterfly bridge. And we only got one other activation of the inner thighs when we were doing that cross-body march at the very beginning. But this butterfly bridge also forces both of your inner thighs on the both left leg and right leg to lift up, to power the body lifting up and lowering down, just for a count of 12. We're not going to do a second set. All right. And 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Exhale up, inhale down. Last couple. And when you're ready, you're going to turn your body over. We're going to hold a plank for 30 seconds. Standard plank. And that means that you're once again on your forearms, your elbows, your shoulders and your elbows make a straight line, up and down straight line. Your hands are flat, no fists. And then you're resting your lower body on the balls of your feet and your toes. But here's the thing, 30 seconds starts now. Here's the thing, if you can't hold this position well, if you find your back arching, your lower back arching, drop to your knees, to the lower part of your quadriceps, your thighs, because it's better to do a modified plank well than it is to do a standard plank poorly. You've got 12 seconds left, and then we'll rest for a second in child's pose before the last 2 exercises, which are going to get your heart rate up. Okay. Great. Now rest in child's pose. And in child's pose, your back stretches out. You walk your fingers far away from your body. Your elbows are in the air, and your butt is sitting right on top of your heels, hopefully. If it doesn't, it's okay. I see lots of people that have a sort of range of motion issues through their glutes, and that is something to work on. But just want to make sure that your back is a little stretched out, because the next exercise, the last couple exercises we're going to do are a little more impact oriented. We're going to do mountain climbers instead of push-ups, because I know people hate push-ups. So we're going to do mountain climbers, and then we're going to end with some plyometrics. I call them monkey jumps, where both feet are together and you're lifting the body up and impact sort of touching down with the body from side to side. So mountain climbers are where you are on your hands, like in push-up position. Remember, again, that you make a straight up and down line between your shoulders and your hands, right? Think geometry with a lot of these types of exercises, with bodyweight exercises. You want clean lines. And so your wrists, splay your fingertips so that you distribute your body weight well, and then make sure that your butt stays down so that you're in plank. This is a moving plank, which is why it's so hard. For 30 seconds, you're going to be in mountain climbers, where you're moving your feet forward and back. Your time is going now. So it's like you're running, but your hands don't move. Your hands are just there and you're stable. You keep your butt down. If you need to slow down, that's better than stopping. I call them mountain hikers when you move one foot at a time and then the other. but you've got another 10 seconds. So keep moving regardless. Don't stop. Even if you do, sort of bottom out, you drop to your knees, you can still lift a knee up and then lift the other knee up. Do something to keep your body moving. Your time is over. So you've got one more full deep breath in child's pose if you like. And then we're going to do these monkey jumps. Now, monkey jumps are the end. And when you finish with monkey jumps, your heart rate should be up, your body tissues should be awake, and your oxygenated blood should be flowing. This is the perfect time to slip on into your shoes and then head out for, some recreational activity, regardless of what it is. The monkey jumps are where you're in the same position as mountain climbers, but you're going to jump with both feet at the same time from the right to the left. Now, if you want to get full monkey oriented, you're going to lift your body up high and make kind of like a semicircle, an arc as you move from side to side. So let's do that for the last 30 seconds. Your time is going. Remember, splay your fingers, keep those shoulders and wrists lined up in a straight line up and down, and keep breathing. You inhale through your nose, you exhale through your mouth. You are almost finished. Last 5 seconds. Those plyometrics are so important. It's really, really critical that you have some level of warm-up to send oxygenated blood down into your feet. Rest in child's pose again. The reason is that the capillary structure, you don't have a ton of blood flow in your feet. When you, if you open up your foot, you look at what's going on in there. You've got this amazing architecture of bony, sort of protruding, very strange looking bones and tons of rubbery tissues, connective tissues, ligaments and tendons. Just not a ton of blood, of blood supply, and that's by design, because your feet are made to take a beating, but of course the nerve endings are there. So you want to make sure that, because you probably aren't, don't move enough in your life, that you activate all of those nerve endings so that your feet can perform when you're out moving around. And the way that you do that, the reason why plyometrics are so helpful in your strength workouts is, in the warm-up workouts, is because they do such a good job of preparing your body to move. I'm Coach Kim from InShape Fitness. I'll see you again next week for another podcast workout, and we'll see you later this week for a new episode of the InShape Fitness Show. Have a great day.